So what's it like driving a Ram 1500? Maybe you're new, you've never had a full-size truck. I'm going to tell you what to expect. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RamBox FST. So today we're going to talk about what it is like driving a Ram 1500. What can you expect? Before we get started, if you're new, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So let's talk about it. We're going to start right from the start, and that is walking up to the door. Well, first of all, you're going to see an awesome looking truck, the best looking truck, full size on the road, in my opinion. Then you're going to grab the door. You're going to find that the door, obviously, it's a full-size truck. It has big doors, is a little bit heavier. Now, it's not like it's difficult to open or anything, but it is going to be heavier and you are going to notice it. And really the only time that that comes into play is if you're out in the wind. If it's really windy and it's blowing from the back to the front, it's going to grab that door when you open it up. If it's blowing from the front to the back, it's going to make it a little harder to push open. It's not a big deal, just something to expect. And this isn't Ram specific, this with any full-size truck. So next, you get inside, and the first thing that I notice are the plush seats. It feels good, almost like you're sitting on that recliner. Nice and comfy, good support. I've got support under my thighs, support on my back. It has lumbar. It feels fantastic. But now we gotta have to get to the best part, and that is when you push that button. Because of course, the Ram 1500 does have a push button start. Means you can leave that key in your pocket, you don't have to screw with it, you can push the button, you hear that roar, and it is awesome. You know, that's one of my favorite things about the Ram 1500 is the way that it sounds. You know, they have it set up in such a way that you can actually hear the engine. How about that? You know, that's another thing I didn't really dig about the 2022 Tundra. You couldn't hear anything. I stood right in front of that truck and I couldn't even tell it was on. So you push the button, you hear that roar, and you know you're gonna have fun because you've got power. So you shift it into gear. Now, this is where it gets a little funky. Some people like it, some people don't. And of course, I'm talking about that right there. The knob. The gear selecting knob. You turn that thing to whatever you want. Park, reverse, neutral, or drive. We don't have a shifter in the center column like we do in a lot of other vehicles. I don't know why some people hate it and some people don't. I prefer it because it gets everything out of the way. You know, it gives me much more room in the center console area without a shifter there. For me, I think it's fantastic, but it's a pretty polarizing feature. I know there are a lot of people out there who just really don't like it. So let's assume that you got past that. You have switched the knob. We'll call it switched it into drive because that's really what you're doing. By the way, one other thing I want to mention about that, do realize that even if you have a center column shifter, it's still drive-by-wire. All it's doing is relaying a signal to the computer to shift the transmission into drive. Works the same exact way as the shift knob does, functionally. You just don't turn a knob, you pull a lever, if you will. So, you do that, and then you take off, and that's where you can really experience the fun factor when it comes to the Ram. Power. Lots of power out of the V8 Hemi. I love it. More powerful than I think any truck that I've had so far. It's awesome. Then we have the ride quality. Of course, you've taken off, you've enjoyed the power, but now you're cruising down the road. And I have to say, there are a couple things when it comes to ride quality or driver experience inside the truck. One is the smoothness of the ride. You may notice some bumps and things that we just went over. That's the roughest road that I drive on, and it takes it in stride. Yeah, you can still feel the bumps. I mean, it is a truck. Right now, we're actually on more of a highway type road, so it's nice and smooth. You shouldn't see me moving the camera around too much. But it feels comfortable inside. The way they have it set up suspension-wise is awesome. And I do not have the air ride, which, by the way, I have been told is rougher than just your traditional setup, which is what I have. The other thing is how quiet it is in here. You know, I can hear a little bit of road noise. I mean, I don't have aftermarket tires or anything aggressive on the truck as far as that goes, but I can still hear a little bit of, I think it's road noise. Wind-wise, it is a fairly windy day here, and I'm really not experiencing any kind of wind noise, so kudos to them for keeping it nice and quiet inside the cab. I really dig that. The next thing, I suppose, while we're talking about the interior, is technology. Of course, Ram has the latest and greatest. I think that's one thing that they've always done an excellent job at, and that is staying up to date with things. Even when there isn't a big model change or refresh or anything like that, they still manage to stay up to date and keep things modern, which is another thing I really like about the Ram. Again, comparing it to the prior generation Tundra, I think Toyota has done a decent job with the Tundra on the refresh, or the remodel, I should say, but they merely brought it up to date. The Ram has all the good stuff that you've wanted. It has the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and all that stuff wirelessly, which it should have these days. I still kind of chuckle a little bit at top end or higher end trim levels on vehicles that come out with connectivity that requires a cable. There's no way you should need that anymore, not in this day and age. It should be on at least the higher trim level vehicles. It should definitely be wireless, and Ram has that. As far as the styling on the inside goes, kind of look around a little bit in here. You guys can kind of see around a little. We'll do a little panning around the truck for you. I think it looks awesome. I don't know how they could go much more modern other than with colors. I mean, if you really want your interior to pop, much like the Ram Rebel does, you could have that, but otherwise it's plenty modern inside. I don't know that they really missed out on anything in here, so I'm really happy about that. The last thing I'll talk about is storage. There is tons of it in here, although I did add kind of a storage box, if you will, or partition in the back. But with that there's plenty of places to put stuff. We have this cavernous center console area. You guys can see there's a tray in it, all kinds of storage and stuff, so I'm not lacking for anything like that. We also have the double glove box over there, much like the Tundra used to have before Toyota decided to get rid of it. I really like that. I think that's a pretty cool feature to have that upper and lower glove box. Just awesome. So anyway, I just wanted to get on and kind of tell you guys what it's like to drive a Ram 1500, kind of experience it with me a little bit as I'm out taking a cruise down the road. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you've driven the Ram 1500, a modern Ram 1500, let's say a 2021 or newer, what did you think of it? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, if you didn't in the beginning, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about the Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive JT, all about Jeep Gladiators. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.